Neil from Essex here with two special customers. This is Jeff and Lori. We're out today dropping a tractor off, delivering their new machine. We're going to take some time here, have a good conversation with these guys about what the purchase experience was like, what this looks like from kind of shopping for a tractor to actually delivering it to financing it. Spend some time talking about their equipment and introduce you to some really cool people.
Essex, a helping hand with your land.
So this is not your first piece of equipment.
No.
Right? What is in your fleet exactly? So you have a skid steer?
Skid steer, Kubota 1100.
Okay.
We have a grasshopper mower.
Okay.
A Skaggs mower. What else do we have?
A walker.
Walk behind, yeah. Oh yeah, a walker that you ride, that's hers. That's
Okay.
why I bought this for her.
So you're ahead of the curve compared to a lot of the people that we deliver equipment to, right? Even at this point, with as many compact tractors as you see out there, 70% of our customers don't have much equipment experience,
Yeah.
right? So the actual walk around of it, explaining to somebody how a machine works, is a little bit different from person to person, depending
yeah.
on who it is that we're dropping stuff off to. Basic operation of the tractor, right? It's a diesel machine, which you
Right.
have other diesel equipment. When you want to start the machine, you take the key, turn it a half a notch forward, and that'll heat the glow plugs, right? And you'll see the little indicator there on the dash.
That's just like the 1100.
Just like the 1100, right? What's the temperature that you start using the glow plugs on the 1100?
Oh, wintertime. I don't know.
Yeah.
40 degrees.
Okay.
So,
Tractor's gonna be the same way,
Yeah.
right? So once it gets 40 degrees or so outside, you give it 5-10 seconds on the
Yep.
glow plug before you kick the key over, right? It can be exactly the same thing. Once you have the tractor up and running, your throttle's up here on the dash,
Right.
and your hydrostat pedal's down on the floor.
Right.
Okay. Now, when you're going to be using your mower, you want that throttle up really high to keep those blades
Right.
spinning. But if you're doing loader work and that kind of stuff, you can kind of shoot down the middle and, you know, a comfortable operating speed, right?
Well, they recommend the RPMs for the 5400.
For the 540.
Is that what it's 540 on the RPMs?
Usually it's, this one doesn't have an indicator on it. Some of the tractors will have a tack that actually has a line on
Yeah.
it. This one's digital, so you don't have that line. It's going to be right about 90% of wide open.
Okay.
It's not, no, you don't have to go the whole way to wide open throttle. So take it to wide open and back it off just a touch.
Just a tad.
Yeah, that would be about where your 540 mark's at. It will tell you digitally once you've hit 540 on the screen.
Yeah, okay.
But. Okay, so basic driving, butt in the seat, machine running, pedal on the floor. Harder you press the pedal, faster you go.
Right.
You think of it just like your other hydraulic equipment, that the harder you press that pedal down, the less power you have. So if you're pushing into a pile of dirt, be
Right.
gentle on it. You have a range selector over here on the left-hand side with a low, medium, high. Okay. Loader, mower, highway. Right. Basically 0 to 4, 0 to 8,
Right.
or 0 to 12 mile an hour. So that's basic driving, right?
Right.
Pretty simple. You have a mid-mount mower, and you have some other three-point hitch implements coming.
Yes.
What are they?
A grader blade, snow plow for the front, a seeder for the rear,
Okay.
and a manure spreader.
Okay. So the seeder's PTO powered, and your spreader would be PTO powered,
Right.
right? So we were talking about this a little bit earlier. So you have a yellow lever, two yellow levers that control your PTO.
Right.
Right. So the front one is just going to turn it on and off. Slide it front, turns the PTO on. The back one here is going to choose which PTO you're going to run.
Okay.
So if you have your mid-mount mower on and you want to run your manure spreader, you just slide this to
Back.
choose the rear selection, and then that'll run that. The front one will run the mid PTO, or the middle portion here will run both at the same time.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's nice.
You can select which one you want. The middle one is a little weird. People always ask, why would I want to run both? It's for a bagger, usually.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you'd have a powered bagger on the
Right.
back with your mid-mount mower.
Okay.
So yellow levers do your PTO. On the other side over here, you have this black one. This will raise your mower deck and your three-point hitch arms up and down. They are tied together, so
Right.
they move in conjunction with each other. The outside lever here is your cruise control. It really is just mechanically tied to the pedal down there on the floor.
Okay.
Lever over here is for your rear remote, to be able to operate that.
That would be like for the grader blade,
Grader blade.
to angle
Yeah,
it right and left.
Angle on the grader blade.
Okay.
Yep. Four-wheel drive, right down here on the floor.
Okay.
You'll notice that all these levers, your range selector and your four-wheel drive and this are all orange.
Right.
There's movement-related stuff with all of your orange levers, right? None of these are shift on the go. So
Okay.
they're straight cut gears. So stop the tractor, pull the lever, it should drop into place. If it doesn't drop into place, just tap the hydrostatic pedal forward a little bit, and
To
then
mesh the gear a little.
yeah, it'll rotate the gear set, and then it can mesh together.
Which is 4-wheel drive here? They both look the same.
Yeah, that's the disengaged one would be 2-wheel. That's 4-wheel. You notice the difference in the brake there in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 and 4 would make a heck of a lot more sense, but this is like international standard markings for tractor stuff.
So 4 wheels on the upper side.
4 wheels the upper side.
Got it.
You've got some hills and stuff, so you probably want to use 4-wheel drive and stuff when you're mowing, right? A lot of times I like the way the tractor drives and operates more in 2-wheel, but you'll, with the grades and stuff, you're going to want it.
Yeah, I don't want it slipping, tearing the turf up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this here, what's this?
That's the tilt for the steering wheel.
Oh, okay.
Tilt for the steering wheel, brakes are on the left. You see
Yep.
these are split brakes,
Yep.
so if you want to get really fancy, you can unlock those there and then steer with your back tires a little bit. That can help you too if you're trying to, like your bank over here,
Right.
if you're trying to mow that bank and you want to keep the tractor on the side, braking your uphill
wheel
tire a little bit.
Give it better traction.
Exactly. It can
So
help
don't start spinning.
It can help it track across that hill a little bit better rather than wanting to drift down the hill. Yep.
Yeah, we usually just mow up
Yeah.
in the pastures.
Yeah.
It has the
Yeah.
grasshopper for the.
But this is a good backup.
Yeah.
Good backup, or hey, when you're in the seat, if you're looking over there and you got some weeds and
Yeah. And it's 100 degrees out.
that would be another thing too. That's right.
What is that gray lever over there?
This one right here is a differential lock.
Okay,
To
that's
lock
like
the
what
both
we
back
had back
wheels
in
in.
Yep,
the-
lock the rear end in. Yep.
Okay.
The one thing you want to watch with these is you don't want to step on that pedal when the wheels are spinning.
Yeah.
So it's sliding a pin through the differential, and we will see every once in a while somebody's got it, you've got it stuck and you've got the one wheel spinning.
And they hit it.
Yeah, and they hit it while the diff is spinning and shear
Yeah.
the pin off.
Okay.
So
You stop and then lock it in, then go again.
Yeah.
hey, you got it. So
This-
you got a lot of buttons up here on the dash. So front and rear wipers, front and rear work lights, headlights and turn signals, and then these 2 buttons related to the tractor's regen.
And don't touch them.
Don't touch them. That's about as much as you need to know. That's it. Literally. The 2 buttons that are here on the dash, one is for what's called a park regen and the other one is for what inhibit. Okay, so if it's indicating to you that it wants to regen and you're already headed back to the garage, you can hit this inhibit button and it won't ever start.
Yeah.
Okay. The other one right here is for what's called a parked regen. So if you have gone back to the garage, shut the engine off, which I told you not to do.
Right.
And the next day you start the tractor up and you want it to go through its burn cycle,
Right.
you can park it and hit this button and
And
force
go
it to
through
go.
it, yeah.
Right.
But it's best not to do that.
Best not to do it. If you're using the parked regen, it's usually because something hasn't gone right to that point.
Right.
Right. But for the most part, yeah, just drive and go.
If I'm plowing with it or use it in the winter and it's cold out, if I have to get out for 20 minutes, half hour, I normally don't shut my machine off when it's outside. I don't like it getting cold.
Yeah.
Now, what RPM should I run that? Because you're not supposed to let them set and idle.
Right.
So just jack the RPMs up about quarter throttle?
I wouldn't have it sitting there screaming if
No,
it's parked,
no.
right? So low idle, and diesel equipment, right? So when you would normally see a little bit of soot, a little bit of more dirty exhaust, the canister's catching all of that
Right.
now. So anytime that you can avoid creating that soot, you're going to extend the life of the DPF. You're going to
Right.
regen less often. So yeah, idling it a quarter or more
Right.
is probably good. And you're not, with all the electronic fuel injection that's in these, you're not burning a whole lot more fuel when you're doing that, right? It's
Thank
just,
goodness. It's $6, $7 a gallon.
yeah, we'll be thankful for that. Let's save what we can.
And this is a parking.
Parked PTO. So if you had a wood splitter or a generator, something where you need the PTO spinning when you're not in the tractor,
Right. You can hit that.
you hit that and it will allow you to do
Okay.
that. Otherwise, if the PTO's on and your butt leaves the seat,
It shuts off.
it's gonna cut out.
Yep.
Right. So you're gonna start by raising the loader up in the air, rolling the bucket the whole way down. Right, there's a release lever over here on the left-hand side. So you see how I curled the bucket the whole
Yep,
way around? And then you take this release lever and release this
Okay.
down. That unhooks the parking stand.
Okay. Okay.
What did it say?
You push this lever down all the way, and that releases that there. That's the parking stand. Now you lift the front of the tractor up. Now you can unhook these on both sides.
Yep. And then right back here in the back is this little, see that lever
Yep.
right there? That little pawl lifts up, and that's what
Lock.
detaches the loader from the
Okay.
tractor.
Okay.
A lot of people opt not to get this kit on a cab tractor,
Right.
because on a non-cab version you can just reach forward and hit these.
Okay.
But this
Yeah.
is wonderful in every tractor, is to be able to release all the hydraulics with one lever there. So once you've lifted those two pawls, you want to set this back down on the ground. And, okay. Work your loader valve in every direction, and you see how it's.
Get the pressure on.
Yep, get the pressure out of it. And then we release this right there.
Wow.
And
Isn't that nice?
that's awesome.
Boy, that's
Isn't that
simple
nice?
enough.
So that's all the hydraulics right there in that one lever. Okay. Now you have that third function kit there in the front.
Which I have to
Right.
do
So
those.
before unhooking that, I turn the electric on the tractor.
Okay.
And then toggle the two buttons right here on the loader
To
stick.
relieve the pressure on that.
Exactly. And you can hear the solenoid clicking.
Kicking.
Yep. And then once you've done that, you just unhook those two.
Okay.
Okay. And that's it. At that point, we
Good.
can curl that shut and back the tractor away, and there the loader will sit. It's pretty common on large ag loaders.
Yeah, I never seen it
farmers that take
before.
them on and off.
When I seen it, I said, I have to have that.
Yeah,
No
the
way.
real change for this is that however they're doing it, this is halfway affordable.
Right.
Right? So in a big farm tractor, this is a $2,000 option.
Wow.
On this, it's what, $700? 800?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a decent amount of labor to put that thing on.
Right. Yeah, it is a little time consuming for us to install it. So and that's not just the manifold, but that's the pawls, the
Yep.
parking stand, all the stuff to be able to do this.
Makes
so
it very nice.
it does, yeah. And it's actually halfway affordable because the other ones are awfully expensive.
And the bucket's just the quick detach.
Yep, same as the skid loader and that.
Go in and-
Right, exactly the same as your skid loader. You could interchange your buckets if
Oh
for
yeah,
some reason
I
you
have
wanted
forks and I have everything.
to. Yeah, yeah,
the skid
forks,
loader.
whatever. Yep, yeah, that'll all work on the tractor. So
I watched a lot of videos.
and I
I never
always
guess who the star was.
there's this guy, he's on YouTube. Yeah. It is always good, if you're going to do something the first time, watch the video before you do it, right? Because, gosh,
yeah.
if there's many of these deliveries as I've done, people might remember 10% of what you go through.
Oh yeah,
Right?
so you do it a couple times.
Exactly, till you
Yeah.
do it. There's no substitute for screwing it up yourself.
That's right.
Or actually taking the time, hey, watch the video before you go do it the first time, just to kind of get a quick refresher, because there's no way you can absorb 10% of what we go
Right.
through during these deliveries. To take the mower deck off, you want to set it down on the ground. And then that black handle on the front is held with a little pin.
Yep.
Pull the pin out, drop the handle front, and it will unhook the front portion of the mower deck. Okay, that loop there, then there's 2 feet of loop between the back of the deck here and the front of the tractor.
Yes.
That lifts right out.
Yep.
Okay. At that point, then spring-loaded pin.
Right.
One here, one on the other side, and unhook the drive shaft that goes back to the middle.
Right.
Okay. You are laying on the ground to reach back and
Yep.
get that drive shaft.
Yep.
It is the same as doing the PTO shaft on the back of the tractor. So
Okay.
there's a locking collar.
Is it easier, I guess, to come in the backside of the tractor, slide in on the backside to do it, or do you have to go in through there
To get
to the drive shaft?
for the drive shaft? Yeah, I would come in the side over here
Okay.
usually. Yeah. There's no step on the other side.
Yeah.
So it's going to be easier to
Easier
come
on
in
the
from the
other
other
side.
side than it is this side.
And then, of course, you have to slide it out sideways.
Yes.
I've seen guys greasing the floor up for the back wheels because they don't slide. And
It's easy. The bigger the tractor and the bigger the deck, the easier this usually is.
Yeah.
This has nice big front casters on the front, so it actually rolls pretty easy.
okay,
When you go to do it, if you turn the tires the whole way around,
gives you more room.
it gives you more room. Or if you have your loader on, you can
Lift the front end up.
carefully lift the front end and watch what you're doing. You can slide it out the side that way too. So when you drop that handle down,
That whole thing comes
the
out.
handle
from
actually
under.
comes off.
Yeah, it
with
all
the
comes off
It
the
comes
front.
off with the mower deck.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
That just hooks to the front and holds the front of the mower,
Holds that up.
which that's a very nice setup, I think.
Yeah, it works good.
Yeah.
When you go, you put it on. The real point of that handle is reinstalling it again,
Yeah.
right? So you can do that whole thing in reverse. Roll it underneath,
Yep.
drop the arms down, pin them in place, hook up the PTO shaft, and you do that last.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the last thing you do.
When you take that long handle, and you pull it around,
Yeah.
it gives you leverage, and it actually pulls the mower deck front, yep, and tensions all the linkage in the back as it comes forward.
Yep. Yeah, that'd be a little tougher in the back to hook that up with that on there, because now you can't move the mower around.
Exactly. Yeah, people will get stuck because they'll do the
Yeah.
front first, and then you can't get the rear pinned because the deck is too far forward.
I take it this is for the rear, the transmission?
Yes. Yeah, that's the dipstick for your transmission fluid.
Okay.
And then the fill cap, you're going to need some kind of crazy funnel because it's right up here.
there it is.
Yeah.
Now that oil that goes in there, that's for everything, transmission, rear
Yes.
end, everything.
Yeah,
This same as the Kubota.
One reservoir for all the
Yep.
hydraulics.
And then you got the engine oil.
Right.
And how many filters is on that for that?
So there's 2 filters for the rear end.
Yep.
One on the hydraulic side, one on the hydrostatic side. And
That's
then,
4 filters there.
Or 2. Yeah, 2 in
Oh,
the back.
okay.
One on each.
These 2 over here on the side are both fuel.
Yeah. Okay.
And then your engine oil is over here on the other side.
Okay.
That guy that does videos on YouTube
Yeah.
just did a video on this exact tractor
Really?
on how to change the fluids. Yeah, I did my 50-hour service. Did we
you
post
did?
that yet?
Yeah.
We did.
Is
Okay.
that when I should change the oil in this after 50 hours?
So yes,
The first time?
your first service interval is at 50 hours.
Okay.
All of our equipment is that way.
Okay.
And what you're doing at that point is mostly just spinning new filters on. You drop the engine oil,
Right.
and then all the filters. You
All the
don't
filters.
need to change the transmission oil. With most of these machines, especially when you have other equipment, it's unlikely that you're going to hit the service intervals.
Probably not.
It'll take you a while,
Yeah.
right? So even for when a machine is sitting every 2 years, something
yeah.
like that, it's good to go over.
Because it draws moisture and everything else
Right.
and breaks
I
down.
usually do it every year.
Yeah, the Kubota, my 1100, I change it every year.
Yep.
The
And
engine oil anyway.
I'm sure you've got a grease gun. Every
Oh, yeah.
10 hours on the loader or the mower deck, it's
Yep.
good to run around with a grease gun and hit all that. We talked about engine oil and transmission oil. The third place that there's fluid in the tractor is the front axle.
Okay.
Okay. If you shouldn't ever really need to check that, it's not like it's going to consume the oil, but
Right.
if you notice a little puddle or something on your garage, that's another place to check. So
Okay.
there's a dipstick and a fill cap on the other side
Okay.
for the front axle.
And what for oil does that take?
Same transmission.
Same
fluid.
as transmission. Okay.
Yep. When you want to get into the hood here, the grill guard
You
goes
just pull
through,
that down.
and then you turn the hood ornament up here
Oh wow, that's your hood latch.
to release the top. That whole thing comes up. So your battery is right there in the front.
It's nice.
I don't know where they get these batteries when they're new, but everybody raves about how long the original battery lasts, right?
My 1100 still has one, and how old is
You know.
that? 7 years old?
Yeah,
We just
7.
had a BX in the shop. We literally just talked about it yesterday. 12 years on their
On the original
On the
battery.
original battery.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
what the heck? Like, where could you go buy a battery that lasts more than 5 anymore?
That's right.
Yeah, if you
Right.
get 5.
Especially in PC equipment, sometimes you're lucky to get 5.
Yeah, but
because
where-
of the bouncing around.
Wherever they get the original battery
Yeah, they
from,
last.
they last and last. There's a screen in here for the
Okay.
radiator. Okay, that can come out the side here with that little service hatch. The condenser has another one there. Okay, you're really only getting into this stuff if somehow enough dirt and chaff
Yeah.
has made it through the screen here in the front, so it's not a
If you're
common
a bush
check
hogging
point.
and you get a bunch of grass and stuff
Yeah.
in there.
Big air cleaner up here in the top, so that
Okay.
element comes out the side. These can last for a really long time and tend not to pick up tons of dirt unless you're working in dusty conditions.
Right.
Right, so that's the time to maybe pull that out and just check and see how plugged up it is. The big silver canister in the back here, this is the DPF that we were talking about earlier. Cool. Other than that, there's not a whole lot to these. The oil dipstick is around the side. You don't pop the hood to get down to the dipstick, so there's nothing you need to really dig around
You
down
can
here.
get to that?
Yeah.
You have to lift the side cover off, I take it. then.
Yeah, it's right over there.
Yeah.
Yep, behind that.
Okay. Have you had any trouble with these fuel filters getting knocked off or anything? I've seen a video where people were concerned about that. I don't know how you would knock it off unless you were really careless.
You know,
Should go in a
it
boat
happens
rock or
when we see stuff like that. It's from people that are using grapples, and when you take a grapple and you start crashing through the woods and stuff,
Oh, yeah.
all bets are off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you know
Running
what
over
you're gonna
logs
hit,
and
rock.
stuff.
Right. So it's not a bulldozer, right?
No.
So you got to pay attention to what you're doing and think before you crash. I have a dent in the hood of my tractor. You know, it's really easy to do when you start grabbing branches and that kind of stuff.
I thought they were fiberglass. They are metal.
No, they're metal. Yeah. Yeah. And good. I mean, like I pushed back on a tree that sprung back on me and went across my hood right here. And I immediately jumped off, put my hand underneath of it, and I popped 90% of it right back out. A lot of people mess stuff up by pushing branches.
We all do dumb stuff certain times.
That's how you learn.
Yeah. What do you think? You ready to go start mowing?
Just in time. It needs
Well, I got to
okay.
show you my tractor that we used to use.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let me open this up here. I'll show you.
Little of an upgrade.
It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
46.
46, and you still use it?
Oh, yeah. She just mowed 2 weeks ago with it.
Starts up every winter.
Oh, yeah. Now it leaks some oil in that, but I mean, nothing's ever been done to it.
Right.
Runs good. She goes out and mows the field with it. But you know, it's hot and it's dusty.
Yeah.
And it don't have quite the power that would have.
No. Your shopping process started at a trade show.
Yes.
So you came into the show and we're looking at equipment there.
Yep.
Did you know Jesse before you were buying this? Or?
No.
Okay. Started at the show, got hooked up with Jesse, stopped in at the store at
I
some
think it
point.
started on your YouTube channel.
And then I wanted to actually see one. I wanted to feel it and touch it, and and then we went to the York show.
Well, but then you guys came to the store,
Yeah.
and that's when we really hashed out exactly.
Well, that was after York go.
Yes.
That was after York.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I got to know you, and then I came there and talked to you, and then we
When was your open house?
We've been back in the end of January.
went down there too.
Yeah.
I was hoping to see one down there. Didn't see one there either.
Wish we had a lot more to see.
Seen a bunch of orange tractors, but not the one I
So
wanted.
did you ever physically look at one before
No.
you bought
No,
it? Okay.
Just
No.
all you two.
all you two.
Never
That's the first
physically.
time I physically seen it.
Other than last week when you came in
Yes.
and looked at yours.
Well, we just got back from Hilton Head down in
Yes.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, let's just stop and see if he has that tractor ready yet.
So that is the beginning, the shopping part of the process. So
Yes.
now here, okay, so we've got a machine for you. We're wrapping things up at this point. Did you do Docusign stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, so Docusign for everything. It's simple. That's what I told you guys from the
Yeah.
get-go. How
Yeah.
it's simple.
Yeah.
It's
So,
almost scary how simple it can
I
be to
know.
buy.
right, so most people are paying and buying their tractors and doing the paperwork before we are actually dropping it off, which feels a little backwards, right? You're
Right.
paying for something before you've seen it.
Right.
Did you prefer doing the paperwork that way?
It don't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
The one thing that's easy for us is that, when we're here and we're going over this and we're having to do paperwork in addition to all of this,
Right.
We've already done a lot today, right? Being able to do Docusign ahead of time lets you actually read and digest the paperwork on your own time. So we like that. It simplifies our deliveries a lot. This is not everything, and this is happening 80% of our customers anymore because of inventory shortages.
Right.
We're not delivering everything in one shot.
Right.
So this will be a split financing, right?
Right.
So you're financing what's here today,
Right.
and then once Jesse has the rest of the stuff together,
Then we'll finance that.
it has been interesting for us because we have had to learn a whole new tool set,
Oh, yeah, I'm
right?
sure.
Of how to do business through severe inventory shortages.
I got enough toys.
This is the last day.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
you
is
had
the last
room in the garage
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Jeff, appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Neil.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure meeting you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
And it is the coolest part about this business is equipment's neat, but at the end of the day, this is a people business, right? And
Yes.
it is awesome to get out with good people, to meet you guys, to appreciate what you're doing, and start a relationship. So
Yes.
happy to be in the store. Stop and say hi when you come in.
Absolutely.
Love to hear what you're doing with your equipment.
Yes.
So if you are shopping for a piece of equipment and we can help, we'll put Jesse's info down here at the bottom. Also available for any parts or service needs that you might need. You can give us a call at Messick's, available at 800-222-3373 or online at messick's.com.
Thanks.
You just snapped in the middle of my thing. Okay, so that's when we got to do it again. All right, so let's do that same thing, but I'm not gonna toss it. It's okay.